I get a version of this question almost every week, and it always almost arrives a little nervous. Is it too late to start a SaaS company? Hasn't AI already eaten the opportunity? And aren't I showing up to a party that's already over? Well, I want to answer it plainly because the fear is real and the conclusion is exactly backwards. So the thing is, it's not too late. It's actually the best moment in over a decade to start a software company. The hard place to be right now isn't the blank page, it's the opposite. Sitting on top of a 15-year-old code base, a per seat pricing model, and a 400 person organization, trying to turn the ship before someone with no ship and no baggage simply sails past you. So, today, why net new beats retrofit? Why the thing that feels like a disadvantage, having nothing yet, is the single biggest advantage in software right now. Welcome back to SaaS Evolved, the show that tracks the future of software as it gets rebuilt around AI. Models eating workflows, categories getting redrawn, the whole economic floor of the industry shifting under our feet. Our job here at this channel is the structural signal underneath the move, not the headline everyone's already shouting about. This one's for the founders, the people deciding what to build for the next 5 years instead of the next quarter. And for the operators and execs watching all of this and quietly wondering if their company is the disruptor or the disrupted in the story. So let's get into why this is the best starting line software has seen in a long time and the one big catch that comes with it. So here's the thing about is it too late? It assumes software is a fixed pie. And every year, AI takes a bigger slice until there's nothing left for you. That's not exactly what's happening. What's happening is the pie is being rebaked. Whole categories are being rebuilt from scratch. And when a category gets rebuilt, the incumbent's lead doesn't transfer. It often becomes dead weight. Think about what an incumbent actually is. It's a company that found product market fit in a world that no longer exists. Every asset they have was optimized for the old world. The code base assumes humans click through screens, the pricing assumes you sell seats, and the sales team is comped on seats. The roadmap is a backlog of features for a workflow an agent is about to absorb. None of that is easy to unwind. That's not incompetence, it's just physics. The bigger and more successful the company, the more expensive it is to churn. The classic innovator's dilemma, except AI compressed the timeline from a decade to a couple of years. Now, look at the founder starting today. No legacy code, no pricing model to protect, no sales team to recomp, no board asking why you're cannibalizing the cash cow. You get to look at the world as it actually is right now and build directly for it. That's not showing up late to the party. That's showing up with a blank sheet of paper while everyone else is doing renovations on a house built for a different climate. So here's the second thing that changed, and the data on this is genuinely staggering. It used to cost a fortune in money, in people, in time, just to build the thing. You needed a big engineering team, a long runway, and years before you saw real revenue. That cost was a moat for incumbents. It kept new entrants out. The moat is gone. Look at the numbers coming out of Iconic's State of Software report. Traditionally, reaching 100 million ARR took a top-tier SaaS company something like 5+ years and hundreds of employees. AI-native companies are getting there in 4 to 8 quarters. Cursor hit roughly 100 million in ARR in about a year with around 19 people. Lovable did it in 8 months with 45. And it's not just the rockets. On the ground floor, the barrier has fallen so far that per indie hackers, something like a third of new micro SaaS products launched in early 2026 came from founders with no prior programming experience. One solo founder, Mayor Shlomo, built a product to 250,000 users and an $80 million exit in 6 months by himself. So when someone asks, isn't it too late? What they're often really feeling is the people who already have scale must have already won. But scale was the old advantage. In a world where a tiny team ships at the speed of a department, scale is increasingly just overhead. The new advantage is leverage per person, and AI native startups are running something like 5 or 6 times the revenue per employee of a traditional SaaS company. The cost of building collapsed, which means the question stopped being, can I build it? And became, do I know what to build? That's a much better question to be standing in front of. Now, let's be fair to the incumbents, because some of them will adapt and some of this audience runs them. But I want to name the tax that they're paying, because it's exactly the tax you don't pay as a new founder. Let's call that the retrofit tax. So when an incumbent bolts AI onto a 15-year-old product, they're not building on a blank slate. They're building around every decision they already made. The data is trapped in a schema designed for a different job. The AI feature has to play nice with the UI built for manual clicking. The pricing team can't move to outcomes because 3,000 existing contracts were written per seat and the whole revenue forecast depends on them. Every move is constrained by the last move. You don't have any of that. You get to make the AI the center of the product, not a button in the corner. You get to price for outcomes from day one because you have no legacy contracts to protect. You get to design for an agent doing the work instead of retrofitting screens for a human. This is what net new beats retrofit actually means. It's not a slogan. It's that the new entrant builds with the grain of where the world is going, and the incumbent builds against the grain of where they've been. Same destination, wildly different costs to get there. The incumbents who survive will be the ones who stop trying to retrofit and start building the net new inside their own walls, spinning up AI native versions and being willing to let it eat the old one. Most won't have the stomach for that. That hesitation is your opening. So I've spent 6 minutes up to this point telling you the door is wide open. Now, the honest part, because this episode is not meant to sell you the hype, and it's a great time to start is not the same as it's easy. The bar definitely moved. It didn't disappear. Here's the trap though, because building got so cheap, everyone can build now, which means the thing that used to be your edge, having a working product, is now table stakes. A clever feature is a weekend for somebody else. If your entire plan is, I'll wrap a model in a nice UI and charge for it, you're not net new. You're a thin layer that a foundation model or a real incumbent erases on a Tuesday. So the advantage doesn't come from building anymore. It comes from 3 things that AI did not make cheap. The first one is distribution. And by distribution, I of course mean being able to reach the buyer. When everyone can build, the scarce thing is attention and trust, not the code. So the audience is the new real moat. Think about building AI products for communities that already exist. The second one is proprietary data and workflow depth. So building something that generates data nobody else has, and woven so deep into how the work gets done that you can't be casually swapped out. And third is judgment about what to build. So picking the right irreversible problem to point all this leverage at. The constraint moved from execution to insight. So it's the best time in a decade to start if you understand that the game is no longer can you build it. The game is distribution, depth, and knowing exactly what to make. Everyone gets the cheap build. Almost nobody brings the other 3. So let's make this practical, because someone's watching this and with a half-formed idea and one finger over the I quit my job button. So for that, I say slow down, but lean in. Start if you can point at a specific painful workflow where the value is the outcome, not the access. And you understand that workflow better than the incumbent serving it badly does. That insight is your unfair advantage, and AI gives you the leverage to act on it with a tiny team. Now, don't start if your only idea is AI for insert thing here with no real wedge, because cheap to build means cheap for the next person too. And if you're inside an incumbent right now, hearing all this and feeling the floor move, you're not stuck. You have the one thing the garage founder doesn't: customers, data, and distribution already in hand. Your move is to build the net new version before a stranger does it to you, and to treat it as the most important project in the company, not some deal that nobody funds. So, is it too late? No. I would say, again, it's the opposite. The cost of building collapse, the incumbents are carrying weight you don't have to carry. The blank page is the advantage now, as long as you bring distribution, depth, and judgment to it. Net new beats retrofit. That's the whole episode in 4 words. So if you enjoyed the episode, if you resonated with those questions, and are, again, if you're a founder or somebody that's aspiring to be a founder, let me know your opinions in the comments. If you disagree with me, or if you're encountering any specific, issues that I didn't cover here, certainly leave that for the rest of the community here. Again, we are trying to build up a community here at SaaS Evolved, so we want to make sure that it's really guided not just by the content, but by the people who are a part of it. So certainly let your voice be heard in the comments. Let us know what you think and sort of where you are if you're a founder with your build. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We do put out a lot of these Q&A episodes. If you have a question that you want me to cover, please let us know as well. Put that in the comments, and I'll be able to hopefully be able to get to it soon. I do have about 5 or 6 in the pipeline right now, but we do try to cover the most important ones. All right, so in any case, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get this out to anybody else in your circle that you think may want to hear this content and may want to hear this episode. I'd certainly appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.